So today's episode, I'm working on some salvage pieces, getting in my stash, looking for those items that were part of something else, and now they're going to be made into something new. So on the window, I want to do this chalkature. I think that's what it's called. Is that what it's called? Anyway, it's a chalk transfer, and when I saw the bunny, I fell in love. So first, I'm going to get my frame. I got it cleaned. You know, they're old windows. It's about as clean as you're going to get it. But I do want to paint it before putting the image on there and then deciding on the back of it what I want to do. So I'm going to go ahead and start taping off my glass in my window. Just take some time to tape off as much as I can. Okay, time. I told you we're going to have fun with color. Oh, moss. Oh my gosh, that is just a wonderful spring, summer, all year long color. Oh, my heart beats still how fun this color is. So I did not sand anything smooth. I was going to let the paint just take on the texture of whatever this old window had been painted over time and chipped off. That'll give it some nice texture. And as you can see, it's been green, coral, purple, blue. This window in its lifetime had been painted many different colors. So we're going to go ahead and dry it in between coats. Okay, now we'll go in with coat number 2. I want to see how that's. Oh, yeah, that should cover. You never know when it's a little bit lighter of a color. Well, I would say it's in between. I don't think it's like light, but okay. Now that it's dry with the second coat, I'm just going to go in and do a little bit of distressing on it. Now I'm going to go in with some of the Fusion's aging wax and tie that all together. It's going to brighten up that paint. It's going to get into all the cracks and crevices that were already there. I didn't have to put them there because they were already there. So this is what it looks like with the aging wax on it, where I did not try to like sand all this off and make it smooth. And then see, that aging wax just gets into all those little crevices from the chippy paint underneath and gives it more character. Okay, time to take the tape off and re-clean the window. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get this on. There we go. Okay. What I'm doing is I'm measuring off the backing so I know where I need to be because it is sticky. Of course, it's on glass, so it's always sticky. I can remove the backing. Okay, there we go. It may not be perfectly centered, may be off by 1/8 of an inch, but it is on. So I just picked out, they have multiple colors, but I just picked out basic black. So this is the paste that you use with it. As you see, first time using it. So I got 2 different applicators. One's a smaller one to put it on. So then it's kind of like screen printing. You know, I don't want to waste any, right? So then you just take it. Like I used the big one to make sure that everything was on. But maybe this one will be just fine. Taking a little bit of the paste, going over the whole image to make sure that I have everything covered. Okay, we got it on, so now let's take it off. Oh, and then I have to go directly into my sink and wash this off. So my idea is to do mirror effect around this on the whole image. That'll make that bunny and the wording pop. I can do some aging around the sides of it to really give it that old-timey look. So if you have not done the aged mirror effect, kind of like a mercury glass, first I use Rust-Oleum's mirror effect spray, and then I have a water bottle, but it's filled with 100% undiluted distilled vinegar. So what you do is you just go through and just start spraying. Like I said, I want it to be aged. Mirror effect smelly, so I got to put my mask on. And then we're just going to spray it. I don't know why the heat gun does not dry the vinegar, but it does not. Now I'm going to take a shop cloth, and where I put the vinegar, the mirror effect won't stick. So I'm just going to go in and dab. But you want to make sure you're doing this when it is dry, or you'll get the cloth markings.
And then I like to repeat the process a few times.
Now I'm going to go ahead and back the mirror effect with all its aging with black enamel paint. That way you don't just see holes going in the backing paper. I'm going to do a misting and weather defense over. I don't know, like, I couldn't find any directions and like how, if this is permanent or not, but I guess it would be cold painted. But I'm going to see. I've never tried it. I'm praying that this will work out. Okay, so I'm going to back this. So I'm going to go ahead and use some double stick tape. I'm going to use some contractor's paper to cover that back up. And then I just use some sandpaper to just cut the edges of the paper off. Okay, before putting the hanger on, I'm going to go ahead and just take some water in a mister bottle and just mist the back down. That's going to help tighten up that paper. And then I'm just going to use some eyelet hangers to hang it. Wire, I'm going to use some 17 gauge. Windows can be pretty heavy, so you want a nice strong wire. Now I'm going around the outside just with some glass cleaner, not spraying on it because, of course, spraying it with the weather defense took away all the mirror. There's no mirror going on. And it's okay for this to look like a transfer. Okay, so now I'm going to take some of the aging and I'm going to go over it. I don't know if it'll do anything whatsoever, but I thought it'd be better to seal it in and make it look kind of like a transfer and give it a little bit of age on the weather defense. Because wax would have been really hard to even get into in between all this. It's probably made more for wood, but I wanted it on a window. So there's that, we figure it out. But I don't want somebody to buy it, take it home, and then all of a sudden like, oh, well, I think I need to wash it, and then wash it and have it all come off. Nope, not a frame. Well, kind of a frame. It is actually a old cash register bottom. So Chris over the years we've come across at auctions cash registers that are beyond worse for wear, falling apart. So we have a few of these, and I finally came up with the idea of what to do with one of these bottoms. So yes, I've got this old cash register. I do have a couple little things I need to glue together. It'll be fine. But I am going to I found some pallet wood that we had that was the same thickness. So I'm hoping that, I don't know, if I'm hoping I don't have to rip any. But we will go ahead and find out. So I'm going to go ahead and get that measured. Go cut one first to make sure, right? That it's the right length. Okay, does it fit? It does. So now I got to do a few more. Oh, but of course, I'm going to need to rip one. So we'll see how that goes. Okie dokie, let's see how that went. Huh? It did work. And then sometimes, to make it not look so odd, we can put it in the middle instead of me trying to rip another piece. I need to go ahead and get them sanded. Okay, so we have a little breakage here. I don't want to take it off either, and I'm not going to cut it off. I just want to fix it a little bit. You can tell that it's an old break. Just some CA glue to hold it in place. So I have 4 legs left from a haul that I had. And I think once I put the wood on, I think that they will bite into that new pallet wood, and then we can have some legs, though the color, they need color. So I might as well use the box that they came in because I need to paint them. So Vonda at the Paint and Heirloom got some new paint. Who doesn't love to try out new stuff? So this is alchemery. Probably slaughtering it. It's a limestone and a chalk paint by Fusion. And this one is white oak. So more of a creamish white there. So let's see. It's a chalk paint, limestone, so it should soak right into here. I like that it was a little bit of the off-white to go with whatever the palette would ends up staining. And I thought, well, some legs, that's a perfect thing to test out on. Okay, let's see how it dries using a heat gun. Okay, probably true to chalk paint form, then I'm going to dip my brush in water. That way I'm not taking off the paint that I already put on there. Okay, I need to stain my boards. I'm letting my legs dry right now, and I'm just using my Waverly watered down ink paint and Waverly antiquing wax mixture concoction, which is going to give it an old Barney look. I'm going to do both sides because somebody will be seeing the bottom. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and see what distresses on them, how easily it distresses. Okay, I have them distressed, I think, the way that I want to. I'm going to seal that paint in and seal them in with some weather defense. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get this glued in. Just have tight bond, quick and thick. Okay, now we're going to pick out the pretty side. I want the nails, that's for sure. Just small piece. And then now I'm just going to go ahead with short brads and nail them in, making sure that's where I want it to be. Okay, now we're going to put the legs on. I want to see how far in I need to put these. Of course, the key is, you know, just trying to get them all centered. Just measuring off. And that worked that little ruler just happened to have a hole in it. So now I'm going to drill a hole. I don't want to go all the way through. So we'll see how deep I need to go. I will put some glue on them, but I want to make sure I get them in position first before I glue them. So we're going to go ahead and get some glue onto them, onto the little screw itself, and then we'll get them screwed in. Okay, now I need to seal this top in. I wanted to make sure that it was good and dry. So we're just using weather defense. So now I want to see how many things I can make out of this old leg. I think it was a leg because I think that had a wheel on it. I don't know. I have a pile of these that are sitting. I have a couple ideas, so let's see what we can do. Start off by trying to get the thing that held a wheel in off. Not always necessarily the easiest a task. Hopefully, pray for me and say a prayer for me that it's not so hard. Woohoo! We got it. Okay, I'm going to start cutting this off in sections. Okay, it's semi-straight, but I'm going to round down just a little bit on the edges so it's not sharp. Okay, I gotta straighten this one out a little bit too. So I guess it wasn't going to stay together too much longer. or it was going to stay together until I cut it apart. But yes, now I've got to put things back together. Oops. There's that. What do you do? Try to figure out a jigsaw puzzle. That's what I'm going to try to figure out. Oh, I was not expecting that when I was sanding it. That one little piece must have been holding something together. Okay, there we go. Okay, I think it's mostly together, but I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can put some brads in it. I don't know. We'll see. So I'm gonna take a little bit of Bondo because that hole is really deep, and then it has all of the little gouges from where that bit into the wood. That was not what I planned. That came out way faster than I wanted it to. Oh well, it's out now. Can't put it back in. And then when it broke apart, I can't find the pieces that were there. So maybe I'll Bondo that and build it up a little bit. Sometimes it's kind of amazing what you can do with Bondo. I want to be able to age this wood a little bit. I'm going to paint it, but I'm going to paint it chippy, and I don't want that to come off as new. I'm glad it stayed together, so I'm just using some of my Waverly concoction to just age that wood a little bit. Luckily, Bondo does not take very long to set up, so now I can start sanding it. The longer you let Bondo sit up, the harder it is to sand. So I give it about 5-7 minutes, and usually depending, as you can see, it's easier to sand. So I'm going to be making one of them anyway. I'm going to be mixing up some Sweet Pickins milk paint in the flour sack color. I have no idea why I just poured the water already, but that's how the day goes today. So if you've not used Sweet Pickins milk paint, as you see, it's a powder paint you mix with equal parts water. It's just tap water, room temperature, nothing fancy. But you stir it for about 2 minutes, and then you sit it off to the side to let it thicken up. I want some chippiness on here. I already got lots of whatever was going on previously, so Really, this is my little bit left of beeswax, Sweet Pickins beeswax. So I'm just going to go ahead and rub it on there. Not on the top. I don't want that to be a distress that you see. But yeah, just so it chips a little bit. Okay, just going to go in. My paint has set up now. I'll paint the bottom, but I'm going to get to the top first. Actually trying out the heat gun to see, because it's running down and I'm trying to prevent it from all running to the bottom here. I've never used a heat gun on wax. It'll be okay because I don't mind if it gets really, really chippy. All I know is it was running to the bottom here. Well, I'm going to go ahead and add some more wax. You can mix your mixture up a little bit on the thicker side if need be. I just did the equal parts, not thinking that it was going to run. I don't want you to see it, that, you know. So I have little black dress DIY paint, which is just black, which is heavily pigmented. So one coat should be good to cover this up. Okay, gonna distress just a little bit. Now I'm going to take some Fusion's aging wax, and I'm just going to rub that on. I have some primitive flags, so I'm going to make this a flag holder. Honestly, when I did my patriotic video, I thought about doing that. I'm like, oh, I could totally do that, but it just needs to be a little bit larger than what the... And the hole that was there was too big for it previously. I know plenty are thinking that. Ooh, it's making fun little curly cues. Did you see those curly cues on the Bondo? Oh, fun. Probably cut them down a little bit. I think that'll be too large. So it's just gonna, I think it's just gonna have 3. So I'm an eyeballer. Then I'll just decide where I want them to be. The fun thing about milk paint is that you can mix it. So I'm going to mix olive with basil. And make just my own concoction of a green. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay, now I have this piece. I'm going to do the same thing, even though this one doesn't have any chippiness. Oh, nice green. Well, it's got crackies. So I think it's working out just fine. Okay, we do have chippiness, crackling going on. I have to paint the bottom. Well, I don't have to on this one because that one's a little bit aged already. So I'm going to go ahead and get it sealed in with some weather defense. I'll go ahead and distress it just a little bit. I'm going to take some Homestead antiquing wax and we're going to dirty that up, bring it back to life. That is what chipped off. Sanded to distress to give it that old-timey look. And it's going to make a great riser. If you wondered what the heck it was going to be, it's going to be a riser, y'all. So thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed the content. Just getting into my stash of salvaged pieces that came from something else and now have new life. So thanks for watching. We will see you next time and you can see what we're up to. Bye.